Well, my husband's job, we moved to Miami first, and we stayed there for, I think it's 8 years. And then his company moved to St. Louis, that's why we're here now. St. Louis, we moved 5 years now, yeah. And nobody treat you bad here in St. Louis because everybody's nice. It's like, if you ask it, everybody says that's the best place to raise a family. I am from São Paulo, biggest colony of Japanese outside Japan. So, like in America would be a second. So we have many Japanese descendants in Brazil. The Japanese moved to Brazil before the war. And after the war, we kind of didn't have too much contact in Japan. So the culture from Japan stayed like that, preserved. The first generation immigrants, they really, really suffered. So the second generation, like my father, he grew up in the city, so he went to university already, being second generation. But the first generation is that suffer the most. So and now we are losing, the Japanese, the generation, the new generation. Most of them don't speak anymore, don't go to Japanese schools. My generation, most of my friends went to the Japanese school. It's like a natural thing. You have to speak Japanese because you were descendant from Japanese. My family was very Brazilian, very Brazilian, So my grandma, she immigrated to Brazil like 8 years old. So she met my grandpa over there. She was Japanese, but Brazilian already. And then she widowed very young with 5 children. So she opened like a pension, and many Nisei came to live with her, and that was interesting. When you live in Brazil being a Japanese, you think you are so Japanese. From the outside, people say, "Oh, it's a Japanese," but when we start talking, it's like, "Oh, you have a little accent." It's like, "Where you come from?" It's like, "Oh, from Brazil," and then all the conversation starts. Our dress code is slightly different, so medatsu. Okay. Like people see your face, it's like you're Japanese, but actually you're not. I would say I'm completely atypical because we can say that. Yeah. As a Japanese Brazilian, okay. Yeah, we have the same or quite the same characteristics, but you cannot say that I'm Japanese or Brazilian. When I was really young, because you have to go to Japanese school, so it was like, oh, Japanese. And then in teenager years, I didn't want nothing to do with Japanese. Didn't want any friends or any, so I skipped school and everything. And after I entered the university, it was like, and then you start to value again your background and everything. Now I want to learn more and more and see if we can pass it on. When you're young, it's like, why they do that? In Brazil we don't do that, or questions like, oh, that's right, I stopped doing that, and you accept people as they are. I would suggest to try your heart to preserve the Japanese culture and try, to give to your child, because it's very important to keep, all the matsuri. Mm-hmm. I don't want that to die, undokai, everything. Not only the language you can learn later, but this culture, it gets into you. Right. It has to be in a younger stage. Sure. I wish only if we could work together and make a bigger community, stronger. Not only the women, but one community without political parts and work to, explore more and show, more active. Because not so many St. Louis know about Japanese besides sushi and karaoke.